guys, and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, I kind of pulled out the stand. I haven't really used the stand in a while. I think it's meant for like laptops or something. I'm not sure what exactly it's for, but I like to use it for sketching since it is a little bit flimsy. I just bought it off of Amazon a few years ago, I think. But I like using it so I can prop up my sketchbook properly if I don't want to sketch on top of my knees. But like I said, I haven't used it in a while, so I decided to pull it out for the sketching session just because I thought it'd be easier for me to film. But it kind of didn't. It was easier for me to film while keeping things loose. But before we get on to that, I'm showing you guys how I'm setting up my sketchbook for today. So the pages were kind of lifting and kind of like bellowing and kind of were like puffing up a little bit, and it's because I've been using some wet medium on some of the other pages on the left side, and because of that it was hard for me to sketch nicely with the pencil. So I decided to take one of my old little cardboard, or it feels like chipboard that I've used for like watercolor painting and stuff when I'm on the go. So I just stuck it inside of my sketchbook to help make it a flat, nice, even surface, so I could draw on the right side without making the paper kind of like puff up as we work. Also helping is obviously using binder clips to help keep the papers all like attached together and I'm not accidentally lifting the pieces of paper. So you can probably tell from the thumbnail, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna name the title of the video, but I wanted to draw the Arataki gang, which is like Ito's little squad, and I'm only drawing 4 of them. I am missing 2 members technically. Well, I guess if you count Traveler and Paimon, I'm missing 4 people, or 4 members, I guess. But I decided to draw, obviously Ito is on the innermost seam on the left page, and then we have his other 3 members, which is, if I can remember their names, I think, is it Genta? So he's on the very right, and then we're gonna have, so like right to left, I think it's Genta, Akira, and then Ito, and then Mamoru. So the reason why I wanted to draw only these 4, because obviously Kuki, Shinobu, and Ushi are members, and obviously Traveler. I'm not sure Paimon counts, but yeah, if I wanted to draw the whole gang, I would have drawn all of them, but I decided to draw the gang that shows up during the current event in Genshin, which happens to be these 4 only, so that's what I am sticking with. So I wanted to draw a pencil today. I just wanted to kind of keep things loose for the most part, and if I wanted to, I was going to take it further by actually sitting down, taking the time to refine and kind of press harder on details I wanted to kind of like show up more. So for the most part, when I was sketching out just like the basics of the body, I was holding the pencil quite high up, kind of looser, and keeping things just a little bit more looser just because I don't want to commit too quickly, and usually I have more of a deft grip on my pencil when I start to work on details, so holding it up higher gives me the opportunity to not worry about pressing too hard or going to do too much detail, if that makes sense. I think that was like something I struggled with during my fine art days, was doing like gestures or just drawing things loosely in general, because I've always probably see it a little bit later when I actually start to refine the sketches and go into detail and stuff. I hold the pencil super close to the tip, or like the actual lead portion, but while I'm sketching here, I'm holding it like in the middle zone and then higher up if I'm sketching looser. And I think having it at this angle was a lot helpful for me. So when I decided to go in for the detail, I decided to not use the stand. Like I said, it's a little bit flimsy, so if I put too much pressure, sometimes it does collapse. So I will eventually move back to the flat surface of my desk. Another reason I wanted to try it to see if I could sketch like this was because I thought it would have been easier for me to record for a video, because like I said, I tend to like propping up my sketchbook when sketching. It just feels more natural for me and hopefully helps with the skewing. Though I know for the most part there's a lot of anatomical errors here. I'm gonna make it worse when I start to refine things, because I didn't make certain things make sense prior. So Mamoru, who is on the most outer left, I kind of have his body leaning forward a little bit more. I should have raised his shoulders further back for his head, so it looks like his body is leaning forward more. But because of that, I think it looks like he's kind of standing up a little bit straighter than I wanted, which kind of makes his body and torso look a lot shorter. And then I think for Genta, who's on the outer right, I just did his proportions terribly, and it's probably because the initial pose I had him in was drawn too small, and then when I tried to elongate it, I didn't really do that when I started to really push into the details. So you can see that I switched back into just working on my desk, which is this like flat surface, instead of being angled upwards. And yeah, it's just easier for me to be able to press down on the page, add the values, get some sharper lines, and get those values in. So I think I talked about this a lot in my previous videos, is that I really like working with pencil because I'm able to get a little bit of a bigger range of values if I need to, and being able to put like detail and kind of like sharpening up your drawing is something I really like to do. So yeah, I really wanted to do that for today, and I just think that sometimes I just really miss using pencil in the sketchbook, so I decided to take my time to work on this. I think you'll see a bit later. I'm not sure when exactly it'll transition, but it will be the following morning when I start to continue on this, because I decided to sketch this somewhat last minute, and it was like nearing 3 a.m. or something. So it is the next morning, but it's really cloudy out, so obviously the lighting's gonna fluctuate once again. Apologize for the lighting, but yeah, I just wanted to continue working on this one. I definitely think, oh, I guess I didn't really talk about this. It'll probably be really hard to see until a little bit later, but in the upper top corner, I actually did a very, very, very quick little thumbnail of how I wanted to place the 4 of them. I was gonna do like the stupid pose of like maybe Ito in the front, or maybe in the back since I think he's the tallest, and then I'll probably go Akira. I think Genta might be the shortest, but you know, like when people kind of stand in front of each other in a line, and then you kind of go in a circle and everyone kind of like lags behind you, so they do like I don't know, I think I have a gif of it, of a very old 17 one that I did a long time ago, so if I remember I'll see if I can stick it in. If not, then I'll leave it up to your imagination, I guess, because I have no other way to really show it, because I don't really have a saved video of it. But yeah, so Ito, I did struggle with his face a little bit and his like proportion of his torso. I initially wanted to draw him a little bit larger, but I think because I drew him first, I really didn't exaggerate his proportions enough to make him look like he's more muscular than he actually is. And I did struggle with his hair. I don't know if it's because I haven't drawn him in a while, or I didn't take the page, like to take my time to actually kind of plan out his hair a little bit. His hair looks a little bit more flat and round, so we'll see if you guys still think it looks like Ito. But yeah, for the most part, I had fun working on this one. I just wanted to draw these 4 idiots, so it's probably not the best idea for me to do for a sketchbook session, just because the amount of time took a lot longer, and I think drawing more than one person tends to be a struggle because there's just more limbs and body parts they have to kind of take into consideration. For the most part, I didn't really follow my rough sketch. I actually had 2 hands on Ito, so it would have been Mamoru's hand on Ito's, I'm gonna say like on the page, the left of the page, hit that shoulder, and then I was gonna have Akira's hand also on Ito's other shoulder, but I decided to get rid of them. So you can kind of see that on near his shirt sleeve, I left a little bit of a gap, but I decided to fill it in, and then I noticed that I missed a lot of details, so later on I'm gonna have to throw in kind of like a vest, which is like right here, over top of his shirt sleeve, and kind of just shade that in, and it kind of like crosses over to Mamoru's face. Sorry for the lighting change. Yeah, I filmed this like kind of throughout the day, just because of I had to go do a few things for family, but also yeah, this thing took me a lot longer. I forgot about this hand. I don't remember if I ended up fixing the hand or rendering it. Right now it looks horrendous, and I think it stays this way. Yeah, Usually for sketches like this, I'm not too bothered about making it look super correct. Yeah, I'm trying my best to not be too harsh on myself when it comes to just sketching in general for my sketchbook. Like I said, I think a problem I had for my previous sketchbook is that I had so many spreads that I really liked that I wanted to keep using the same method over and over again, but then I got burnt out, and then I was in a cycle of kind of like being burnt out, but you don't like your drawings, so like you don't want to work on other drawings and fear that they might have the same result. But I think if I keep myself in a more freeing mood of not caring too much about it, I think it'll be okay. I think for the most part, this sketchbook definitely has a slower start compared to my previous one. I think the previous one, I think after I did the cover, or even before I did the cover, I think I did like 7 spreads beforehand in the span of maybe 3 days, 2 days or something like that. But for this one, I think it's already been well over a week, and I've only done like 4 spreads, so I'm kind of taking my time. I want to treat this as casual as much as I can. I feel like before too, I would always treat like I need to get a sketchbook finished so I could show you guys kind of thing, which kind of happened a little bit like the end of the other one, but I feel like it's also partially because I wanted to really end that sketchbook so we could start something new, and hopefully I can carry out similar energy, positive energy into this one at least, so I don't get too burnt out and that I can continue to just sketch what I want. And yeah, I always feel like it's good to kind of just treat your sketchbook, especially if it's not for like, you're not submitting it for like an application or for any kind of work or school related thing, to draw whatever you want. Like really, the sketchbook is just for you kind of thing. I feel like when you start doing art and you start showing it to people, and people kind of have a bit of an expectation of like, oh, they're gonna show me when it's done, or they have plans because they've already done that in the past, I feel like there is a little bit more pressure. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to separate those two thoughts of treating the sketchbook as a, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I think it's because I try my best to keep a schedule for the sketchbook that it's kind of pushing me away from it. But also it's like, it's a good way to force myself to even just use the sketchbook in general. I think in university, I had a much stronger work ethic in terms of keeping myself busy for the most part with school and my hobbies, or like school and what I separate into my hobbies. Because like I said, I did fine arts, which is still like art and drawing, and then I also drew in my spare time, so there was a good separation still for me between those two. And it might have been because I did fan art for kind of like my free time, and then I did more realism, a little bit more like symbolism and all that stuff for like fine arts. It's kind of like more gallery work kind of thing, so there's able for me to separate them. But now that for filming videos I've kind of merged the two, there's just the extra layer of like pressure, but I think I need that pressure in order to continue to motivate myself too, which is why even though you guys are like, oh, you should take a break if you're not feeling good and stuff, but sometimes it's just me feeling, I don't know, it's not even like, I just need the extra push kind of thing. That's why I like to keep the schedule the same as much as I can, and for the most part, like, I'm able to upkeep it as long as I don't slack off too much, because I do have enough time to give myself to do the things I want to do, but sometimes I take it into overdrive, and that's when I start to panic. Yeah, about the drawing, I think for the most part I spent the most time probably drawing Ito, just because he's the most recognizable. I know a lot of people like Genta, who's the one on the right side, just because of that old PV of, I think, like, it's Ito's PV, I think, his character trailer or something like that, and people really like him. I apologize if you're a fan of Genta and I've drawn him pretty poorly here. I don't think he looks as cute as a lot of people seem to find him, especially during that PV, but I tried my best. I tried my best to keep them at least a little bit more recognizable between all 3 of them. Obviously Ito is a little bit more recognizable than the bunch, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I just went on a full rant to just, I don't know, just free-flowing my thoughts of things that have been going on. I am a little bit stressed about upcoming videos, but I think it's okay. And it's only because I scrapped one, which I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to continue to scrap it. Because if I don't, then I'll be okay. But if I do, I need to refilm. But I also don't really like the drawing, so I really don't want to post it. So we'll see. I did film like 4 hours worth, so I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video of me just drawing these 4 idiots all together. I know there's a lot of errors, but I think it's just fun to sit down, draw, relax and stuff. I like to put live streams and podcasts in the background while I work, especially on these kinds of videos where I don't really have to record audio at the time. I can just play anything. I don't have to worry about talking. It's the same with ASMR videos. It's only those kind of videos where I can listen to long forms of media while working, because whenever I film for like draw with me's or sketch with me's where I have to talk during the process, I can only listen to music because I cannot talk when another person's talking, or my brain will like not function properly. But yeah, I think that's mostly it for this video. Just 4 people really quickly. I guess not really quickly, it did take me 2 hours I think in total. 2 hours and a half I think. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and hopefully I'll see you guys during the stream today. And hopefully in a few hours. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye.